defenders, I think, it's like.
Are we live? People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. First things first, I hope you're doing well mentally, physically, spiritually, definitely financially, all of those illies. I hope you're having a progressive weekend. You know, people, Deluded, I'm back again. Obviously, it's morning time over here in the United Kingdom. While it's the morning time here, I'm sure it's another time elsewhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are and whoever you are. You lot can't see it in front of me, but on the best of days, I have problems with the production and whatnot. I'm having an issue now. Obviously, you lot can't see. Actually, I can't even show you lot, but basically, this is a light, isn't it? This is an Elgato light. It won't make sense. It won't make sense. It's obviously got a body. The body's come loose. This is why I'm not as bright as I normally am. There's simply no time to fix it. I need to go and find my Allen key and just tighten the screws back and pull it back, but we're gonna have to do what we can in it. So I apologize for it looking even more worse than it normally does, but we're here for the content. We're here for this sexy voice, or some of you lot's baby mums are. I know the man them are here for the football chat. On a serious note, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Make sure you're following and subscribing, not only on Twitch. One love to the early birds in the Twitch gang, but on YouTube as well. As you know, it's a jam-packed day of content. Skipping ahead to the evening, it's Wolves against Arsenal. I'm going to be doing a watch along at 6:45 on YouTube. That's an hour before kickoff. And after this, we head over to YouTube to speak Arsenal a bit more at 11:30. Throughout the course of this live stream, we'll obviously go over the current talking points within football. Can't get away without speaking about Zouma, I guess. Again, Premier League yesterday, Spurs bottled it. Again, that makes Arsenal have to win even more. For me, we have to win today. Again, it's no easy feat. Again, respectfully, I don't think, and it could be an advantage to it could be an advantage to Wolves, if I'm completely honest with you. But no one seems to be talking about them. No one seems to be talking about the good job that their gaffer is doing, and all of those things. The one thing that scares me about Wolves is their fans are going to be buzzing. They're quite stubborn defensively, even though by their own standards, they've been shipping goals. They're not really scoring, but they have goal scorers and they'll find a way to score. And they're going to have the 12th man. We've got a young and naive squad. They've got one of the most experienced squads. They've got people like João Moutinho, people that have been around the block, and they're only 2 points off us. And, both teams have seen United drop points, seen Spurs drop points. It's a 6-pointer if you're trying to fight for the top 4 and whatnot, or top 6. And you look at West Ham, Wolves are going to be a tricky outlet. But like I said, it's lovely that Spurs lost. Crazy game. I think, the ref was trying his best for Spurs to win, adding on extra time and stuff. Spurs were terrible, if I'm completely honest with you. Defensively, I don't know what Doherty's doing. I don't know what the whole defense is doing. VAR worked against them. Obviously, Zaha scored an absolute peach of a goal, took a piss poor penalty. Manchester City just keep winning. Yesterday, we watched Aston Villa against Leeds on Twitch. Big up the Twitch gang. That was a crazy game in all aspects of the word, really. Jacob Ramsey deserves an England call-up. I hear it if it's too early and stuff, but you've seen youngsters at other clubs get the call-ups immediately. He's been doing it for a while. He scored against Arsenal at the Emirates. He's a good player, man, with a fantastic future, and he's living the dream playing under Gerrard. Coutinho, 2 goals and an assist, if I'm not mistaken. Terrible game, where I'd say really for the fans, for the neutrals, it's a great game. For Villa or Leeds, if I was Gerrard or Bielsa, I wouldn't be impressed. Both of you, get a point, and it is what it is. I think if I'm Villa, it's 2 points drop because you started off the game fantastically, and I said it, they're going to switch off and concede. They conceded. They then put daylight, if you could say that, at 3-1 between the two sides. They conceded a cheap goal just before halftime. They didn't come out of the blocks in the second half, which Leeds did. Leeds are rather fortunate to get something because it was Sunday League-esque at times from them. It was fully a good game of football. As you saw, it was incredibly open. Coutinho, Ramsey, Douglas Luiz played well. Buendia played well. Luka Dean played well. Respectfully, I don't think Villa can go where Gerrard or where they want to go with their defense, because I see great attackers. They got young players bursting on the scene. You had Chucks off the bench. You had Ramsey starting. They've got other players in and around the first team. They've added some quality attackers with Coutinho, Buendia, etc., etc. Defense ain't levels. I'm sorry. Mings is only playing for England and probably Villa because he's left-footed. Them man, they are activists now. He's not good enough. He's not Konza. The very fact that he is an accidental sending off tells you about his decision making. To call them championship level centre halves, it'd probably be a compliment. I look at that back five. 3 of that back 5 needs to be replaced. Respectfully, Matty Cash isn't the immediate priority, and I think they need to improve their defensive pivot first. They will need to look at improving Cash. You had a decent game yesterday. The centre halves immediately. And to be fair, Courtney House, Chambers, Mings, Konza, I don't think that's good enough for what Villa are trying to do. I think Luca Dean's calm, Martinez is calm, but you saw the goals. The only good thing Tyrone Mings did is clear a shot off the line, and then he palmed it he basically set up Llorente. Terrible player, if I'm honest with you. I'm sure I like what he does off the field. I like what he continues, but he's a terrible footballer in terms of what they're trying to do. How he plays for club and country, it's a mockery. Like, for me, respectfully, I know football's a funny old game of opinions. Tyrone Mings is one of the best English centre halves, because you typically call up 4 to 5 centre halves for England. Then we're in trouble as a country. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. And I know people talking about Konza playing for England, Portugal, smoking the finest of Cali. The man are not good enough. Matty Cash should have the best chance, and even he's robbed. So I think Villa will need to improve that immediately. For Leeds, but they're lucky in it. They never say never. Again, they were far too open. Their keeper, and it was a bit naive. Luke Ayling was in the trenches. He got a nutmeg on someone, and then he got ripped. It was a joy to watch Coutinho, man. Some of the things Coutinho was doing yesterday, ridiculous. I only saw one flick that didn't come off, and some of my notes at the time: Buendia quality, Coutinho show, Ramsey lovely, sloppy goals from both teams to concede. Tyrone Mings very needy, left foot tax. Southgate call up Ramsey, sorry, not Ramsdale. Douglas Luiz again, Arsenal need to bring him to the carpet if he's not signing a new deal. I mean, it's going to be Neves watch today. Let's hope he has a stinker, but you've got Neves contracted until 2023. You've got Bissouma contracted until 2023. You've got Tielemans contracted until 2023. You've got Douglas Luiz. Obviously, I want Arsenal to have other targets and things like that. But boy, you need to be bringing one of these guys in, especially if we get Europe. And again, I don't know if that's going to be Champions League, which I hope, or Europa League. But boy, you need to bring one of these guys in. Bring one of these guys, scout a next one, even Arthur Melo. Again, I think I left it to a poll. Make sure you're taking part in the voting poll if you haven't already, people. I think I set that up to go 10 minutes before we actually came live, so it should be done already. And just by looking at the votes, you lot said Bissouma, 43% said Bissouma. Douglas Luiz is second with 29. You lot not really feeling Ruben Neves still. Out of Tielemans, Bissouma, Douglas Luiz, Neves, and Arthur Melo. I just added Arthur Melo for decoration. You lot doing him dirty, man. Big up Bissouma, I don't think he's a progressive midfielder, but he's more of a progressive midfielder in possession than giving credit. He's a 6, but he's got a lot more qualities. I would have said he would be first for me. I understand, because they all have their own way of being first. Arthur Melo, Brazilian biased, probably him first. Douglas Luiz / Neves second. Nah, you know what? Arthur Melo, Tielemans, Neves. Even though I think Neves would be a better fit for us than Tielemans, but I just, bias. I've seen Tielemans from 16 years of age. So yeah, I said Arthur Melo, Neves. No, Arthur Melo, Tielemans, Neves, Bissouma, Luiz / Bissouma. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm doing everybody dirty there. That's a tough one. That's a good one. I don't know why I asked you like that and tried to answer it myself. But yeah, mediocre would be the nice way to say what happened yesterday. I mean, Villa are only going to go so far with these sort of man. If I'm completely honest with you, some of these footballers some of the footballers they've got within their team are extremely meaty. To be quite frank with you, like if I'm completely honest with you. Minute 5. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Like I said, Villa were madness. Zaha summed himself. I don't know what Zaha was. What he was thinking. I know he could say he slipped for that penalty. Boy, he looks like a duppy over there. Got him. That was meaty. And it's a point gain for Norwich, because they could have lost. And to be fair, Norwich and Dean Smith, they're doing everything they can to stay in the division. Credit to those who try, innit? I guess you've got to give them credit. If we look at the results again, just to make it clear, Manchester City 2, Brentford 0, Norwich 1, Palace 1, Southampton won 3-2. Shout out the Saints. Again, it was 3-3 between Aston Villa and Leeds in this 6-goal thriller. We've already spoken about it, but on Tuesday, you saw Newcastle win 3-1 against Everton. West Ham defeat Watford 0-0, and it was 1-1 between Burnley. I would say the games of the week for me, I think Newcastle Everton was lit, but Villa Leeds, because we watched it, it has to take the biscuit. That was a great game. There's been goals. Southampton Spurs look a madness. You know, I scored coming off the bench for Spurs, and then VAR disallowed them. I think definitely one of the Southampton goals, it looks like they fouled off the ball. There were some costly misses by Che Adams, who scored ultimately, and Borja. Not, you know, it is what it is. Again, Spurs were just at 6s and 7s, and we'll get into Conte's comments, but I think he's right when he describes them as emotional. People lack game management, game intelligence, and they're all over the place. You know, Højbjerg is all over the place. Emerson Royal is terrible. You know, the majority of the squad was just playing Kalas, and it's 3 points dropped, 2 points dropped, a point dropped. And what's that? 4 points from Southampton off Spurs this season. Shout out to them, man. Spurs just looked at 6s and 7s, really, really and truly. You know, I didn't understand why Bentancur didn't start, but it is what it is, people. For Norwich and Crystal Palace, like I said, man, obviously at the end of the day, Pukki scored in the first minute for Norwich, and you know Palace walk away with a point, but it could have been 2. Elise got an assist, and he keeps his stock rising. Zaha scored a peach of a goal, and then showed he's human, to put it nicely, with that penalty in it. The good, bad, and the ugly of Wilfried Zaha. I described that as. Manchester City beat Brentford 2-0. Again, Cancelo had a good game based on the highlights. Kevin De Bruyne and a Riyad Mahrez penalty saw them wrap that one day up. And again, it's a big week, man. I know we always say this, and Arsenal have choked, and we will have our time where we don't take full points and other people do, but you know, I'm looking at it. West Ham right now are the real winners. You know, West Ham are the real winners, really, away from Newcastle, because Newcastle have taken 3 points. They've seen Norwich drop points. They've seen Watford lose. They've seen Burnley, in the grand scheme of things, great point against United, but drop points. So there's, you know, that helps them more likely to stay in the league. When you look at the race for Europe, West Ham are laughing. You know, again, United and Spurs have dropped points. Arsenal against Wolves is brazy, and again, it's going to be tough. That's why I'm getting my laughs in at United and Spurs fans already, because we might get humbled today. Still, it's going to be difficult. We haven't won in 2022. We've got a difficult run of fixtures. We know the squad probably isn't what us fans want to see, definitely up front. It is what it is. There's no excuses. It's time to stand up to be counted. We have to near enough be perfect for the next 17 or so games, which is near enough impossible. And for me, we need to stop dropping dumb points. Obviously, every point you drop are dumb in it. But if I'm harsh, I'm so sure I could be wrong about Everton, but definitely United and City, if I'm harsh, we drop them points from winning positions. And if I look at it on the grand scheme of things, what I would describe as cheap points, Crystal Palace at home, I would say a point away at Brighton is not the worst, but I think the way Arteta set us up that day, and I think the mentality of the players, we were very lucky to get a point. You know, 2 points dropped against Burnley. At Man United, again, we don't win there too often. We've won the league there at your ground. Don't get it twisted, but we don't win there too often. If you find yourself with 3 points in your hand, or a point in your hand after you've cocked it up, you need to walk away with something. We didn't. I don't know if I've mentioned Everton already. Obviously at the start of the season we dropped points to Brentford and Chelsea and whatnot. I'm not really onto them about that, but we can't afford to drop down points. And away from home, I do think some of our players struggle with the culture shock. End of the day, it is what it is. You know, I hope the Dubai trip gives them galvanization. I hope you lot are able to go on a run, because you're going to need it, and you need to win today, really and truly. If you win today, it sets up next Saturday's game against Brentford at home quite decent. And we've got 2 clashes against Wolves. As I said, Wolves are 2 points off us at this moment in time. You know, so I don't know why, but they're in a fight for top 4, top 6. You know, you look at us, United, Spurs, Wolves, Hammers, probably missing out on next one. There's probably 4, 5, 6 teams all fighting for Europe. So again, it's got Leicester, even though they're poor, it's going to come down to who shanks it the most, really and truly. We need to take 3 points today. There's no excuses. If you fail to do that, then it's a myth, really. It's a big myth. 100%, man. It is what it is. Now, I didn't see Chelsea play, but I think they're, you know, Lukaku put them a goal ahead, and they're into the final, I think, of the Club World Cup and that. So they're doing their thing, man. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. So again, we're gonna need to do the business. We're gonna need to do the business today, man. In terms of fixtures to come today, people, you've got Liverpool against Leicester, Brendan Rodgers derby. You know, there's pressure on Leicester. I know I will get into it, but Rodgers has spoken, and he's spoken a few times, really and truly. You know, but he's spoken about the pressure and he's still got his job and all these things. Going to Anfield on the best of days, much less an evening fixture where fans, you know, not everyone can get there midweek, and you know, in the weekend people got other commitments away from football. It's much like now, but it always Anfield in the evening just looks dodgy in the best of days, and you know, I wouldn't want to go there. But Leicester are gonna have to do something. Leicester do seem to always give Liverpool a game, so let's hope that's the case, and whatnot. And obviously we've got Wolves, which again, both games off 7:45 kickoff on BT. If you need to know, boy, it's brazy. You know, it's brazy. Like you said, we should just keep the focus on winning our games again, because that's true. Because when Arsenal, you know, you have to win your games. Games in hands FC have been humbled really quickly in Spurs, but you need to win your games. I can't look at any of our fixtures. Definitely why we ain't got to win in 2022 and say we're gonna win this, we're gonna win that, we're gonna win the other. You should be beating Burnley, but as you know, well, Burnley away is, you know, so not everybody can do it in it. Ben White can keep a clean sheet. Champions League, Varane can't. But at home, any team that plays against Arsenal with a stubborn unit has half a chance. And we've shown we can't break down units. You know, we've shown we're very left-hand centric. We rely on the same youngsters or the same individuals to make the difference. This is what it is. I hope players can go on a purple patch. But yeah, we should. Everybody plays 38 games. It is the point in the season where you need to look at what other people are doing and say, all right, cool, let's go into this game and win. You know, it's even more of a chance now, because someone's gonna, you know, somebody, it's a bit of pass the parcel when it comes to European places in the Premier in the last few years, but someone's gonna capitalize and go on a bit of form. You saw Liverpool last season. You saw you know, with their centre half injuries, pull it together and claw back their season. You know, you see Chelsea do it before with Giroud when he was scoring all them goals. You know, you saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get all the way to second. You haven't seen Arsenal do it though. So let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. DG, thanks for the value you add to my day with these lives. Always excited to see these notifications after a big day at work. Stop cutting onions, man. You lot are the nicest people ever. Appreciative to all of you lot, man, that are locked in. New, whatever, you know, new viewers, young viewers, old viewers, whatever. Bruno Larg should be manager of the season, bar probably Moyes. Again, I think manager of the season. Let's see what's going on. Do you know what? I'll give it Dean Smith if they stay up. You know, if Norwich stay up, I'll give it to them, because I just feel I never gave Norwich a chance. I still don't. And you can't be wrong and strong. I'll give them, and I think it's an impossible job. You know, if Watford manage to stay up, if Norwich stay up, I think Newcastle staying up. If they manage to stay up, I give it to them. But you're right, Bruno deserves a shout, because I don't understand why people are not gassing up Wolves, because Brentford won two little one, beat an under hit Arsenal team, and people are saying, "Oh yeah, they're the new Leicester, man. They're trying to do what Wolves was doing, and Leicester, and they're a problematic team and whatnot. They might very well be. Big up Brentford and what they're doing, but no one's talking about Wolves. But if I was a Wolves fan, if I was involved in anything to do with Wolves, that's the strength, innit? Nobody sees you coming when you're underrated. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. DG, did you see the PSG Jordan new kit fire? Nah, but probably get it. Mings is tired, man. Sanchez, Romero, Winks, Dyer, all of them are meaty. To be fair, I like Romero. I think Sanchez isn't terrible. I don't really rate Winks or Dyer. And to be fair, Romero ain't had too much football, so that's probably why he got collapsed. We're spoiled for choice in the market if we get Europe. Honestly, I don't know about that. But definitely is a more of an attractive opposition. Basuma is the most likely option. I don't know. I think they're all quite like. I actually think Douglas Luiz, if anything. I don't think we're going for Basuma. You know, Basuma has to beat them allegations as well. Has to make sure, you know, that's gone. We need more of an 100%. 100%. We probably need. If I could be greedy, I would say three. I would say two midfielders, but three. Being very greedy, I would say you could bring two number eights. You know, similar to how you got Partey, who's the guy for right now, and Lokonga for the medium, short, and long term. Can you get an 8 that's gonna bang right now? We need 3 points today. Someone that can grow into that. And I'm not gonna lie, with Lokonga needing his handheld, with Partey's inconsistencies, there isn't, even when both play or injuries, there is a potential need for another number 6 and whatnot. So I would say two. I think Arsenal need two midfielders minimum. I'm just being humble and hoping that Arsenal bring in, you know, one in the window and the striker. But that's in the summer. We need to do what we're doing. Who would you be most underwhelmed with? None of them really, you know. None of them really. None of them. I think they're all good, really. I wouldn't say I'd be under. Well, I was happy with Odegaard when Arsenal fans were getting at him. I was cool to take off for Melo. So I wouldn't. I'd say the one that probably gassed me the most probably be Telemans or Neves because well, not so much Neves because it doesn't really make sense. But Telemans, I wouldn't say we're punching because his stock's not as high as it used to be. But it just feels like that one's a myth. But I'd be the most happiest with actually Arthur Melo, really. Brazilian bias, admittedly. Even Southampton putting a run together. You're right. I can't lie. I thought they would bottle it. They dropped the most points from winning positions. Hope Arsenal play good football today in no mood for a stinkfest, DG. I hope it's boring, man. I hope it's boring, broski. I hope it's boring. I don't want no excitement that the Newcastle Everton game or Southampton Spurs or Leeds Villa, unless Arsenal are going to be the ones doing it. Bruno Laga's been showing up more than Fernandes. Fernandes just chilling, probably drinking mate right now, preparing in the morning. He's catching a stray. The way Liverpool fans are talking about Saka is like he's already signed for us. The propaganda is insane, DG. Boy, there's a good chance you get him, but I think it's paper talk. But the real winner is Saka and his agent. That's the more Arsenal get cold feet, fans get cold feet, and whatnot. Wolves patterned up United. Remember people, Matinho. This Matinho scares me the most because Matinho's a man that, let's just say there's a corner. Arsenal, like he sees someone looking over their shoulder, not looking quickly. He's the guy to assess it quickly, say, I'm putting this ball in the box quickly. And Arsenal switch off. The street smartness is what scares me. And I think we need. I'm gonna need Lacazette. I need everyone, but Lacazette and Martinelli in particular because Wolves. They like them kids that keep trying. When you see a kid fight in school, a kid's fighting a bigger kid, and the bigger kid's thumping lumps out of them, and they're still getting up and trying to do a thing like Rocky. Wolves are bookie, man. What do you think of Ralph Rangnick? Difficult to really say anything. What's he, for all the propaganda, what's he done in the game in the last 10 years beyond, being the Gen press master and things like that? We all need dark horse. English media definitely have their favourites. I'm not going to lie. I think it is Spurs and Liverpool. Wolves is a bogey team for us. And obviously last season against Wolves wasn't exactly favourable to us as well. So we're going to need to stand up to be counted. There's no excuses, man. It is what it is. Like we have to do the business. There's no way around it. Coutinho has to come to Villa with a point to prove. I wish I put him in my dream team masterclass yesterday. Coutinho, am I missing something? I hear it, but boy, says a lot. Can't lie, he's made his own bed this season with his mistakes and red cards. But the very fact that our team has to use Xhaka to tick is a myth. Coutinho, yeah, you scared me, man. I was say, who's that? Coutinho was listen. If you got him in your FPL team, you're eating. You ate good yesterday. You ate good. Wolves showing why having quality midfield is so key. Trust me, defense wins you titles. Strikers win you games. It's a midfield battle week in, week out. Wolves have a functioning midfield unit. I think Arsenal have a hit and miss unit. There's no way, respectfully, I'm not a Xhaka hater. I don't think he's good enough to be a 38 game man where if he's fit, he's probably going to play that. But I don't think he's as good as his fanboys make out. I don't think for what we're trying to do, become a top 4 team, I don't think you know what he's on. We know what he's on. So I don't think you can do it. Partey, I'm not going to lie, I'm a big fan of Partey, but I don't know what you're on. I know there's games where it looks like Xhaka's holding back Partey. Games where it looks like Xhaka is carrying Partey. Games where they both excel. But there's very few consistent games where both are ballers. That midfield scares me. And they're not picking themselves. Arteta has picked them. Arteta has betted on that. Back to the summer, they said them two will be the guys. Lokonga will do his thing. Maybe it's naive. And I think that's the bed we've made it. I need guys that I can bet on. I look at Arsenal. We ain't got strikers that you could say are going to get 15, 20 goals. In fact, really, we don't have a goal scorer in the team, if you're real. We've got youngsters that are learning, youngsters with the ability. Smith Rowe's our top goal scorer in the league. More goals than Ronaldo, 8 goals. I can't say he's a goal scorer. He's only been in the Prem 18 months. You have to be doing it for years to be a goal scorer. There's no goal scorers. There's no one I can look at and say, you're going to give me 10 games. We've got 17 or so games left. There's no one I can say you're going to be. Everyone has bad games. I can't say that you're going to give me 10 plus in them attacking areas. I can't really, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, they're wavy, but they're still learning as much as they've shown great spells of consistency. Odegaard, I got faith in Odegaard, but he's not a goal scorer per se. I look at Ramsdale, I look at Tomiyasu, I look at Tierney. I look at Martinelli, Saka, to be fair with you, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, probably miss out a couple of names. These are the guys that I'm thinking of. That's not 11 players. That's not a 25-man guide thing that I believe in. You know, there's a couple other guys I believe in and whatnot. Obviously, I like Lokonga. I like Partey. Lacazette, you're doing well. But in my heart, I don't know what you lot are on week in, week out. You know, if you put a gun to my head, I only think Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Tierney, these are the guys that are going to, and a couple of others are going to be the ones. Gabriel, the same. You know, I like Ben White, but 50 million jury still slightly out on you. You're just the bracket below that I don't really know. And this is the territory we're in with 23 man with an average age of 23. This is where we're at. And this is the time of the season where you kind of need assurances. You need consistency. And Arsenal need everything to go right. Let's be real. We need everything to go right. No injuries, no loss of form, no suspensions. Purple patches. We need Pepe to go. Pepe is normally one of our best players in the second half of the season. We're going to need that. We're going to need Laka. I hope Eddie and Ketia, our man start playing, outperforming what you think of them when their contract's up. I hope he does a thing, but we're betting on a lot. And when you look over and you look at Talisman and things, I see Wolves got a couple Talisman. United have got Ronaldo, whatever you say. Spurs have got Kane and Conte. Not that it mattered against Southampton. West Ham, David Moyes, been around the block, really the master to the apprentice, which is Arteta, experience side, etc., etc. And I'm looking at who's got the edge. We've got good players, but I don't really see a Talisman in our team like that. Really, really and truly. Do you think Odegaard was a good signing? 100% Odegaard's a good signing, man. Arsenal have done a lot of BS. That wasn't one of them. 30 million euros, you can get your bread back. It's the thing I've loved about Arsenal signings is that if Ramsdale never gets better, you can get your 30 million back. If Tomiyasu doesn't improve, you're going to make your 16 back. Knowing Arsenal will probably get a cheese string and a piece of chewing gum for him, but you'll make your money back, You'll make your P's back onto Vares. So it's not that they're risk averse. Every signing carries a risk, but they're getting better and there's potential resale value or worst case scenario. If Pepe doesn't go right, you're not going to get your whatever you've paid going all the way up to 72 million. You're not getting 35 whatever back for Xhaka. You're definitely not getting 52 for Lacazette. You get the point, people. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see, man. It is what it is in that regards. Firmly. Odegaard's been a good player. I think people writ him off for no reason, but yeah. Exactly, DG. He shouldn't be in our stable. We literally can't rely on him. He's shown over and over, but Arteta decided to pick him for the season. So is it really his fault? Bro, this is the man he's betted on. He's betted on them. At some point, you need to move away from getting at them, and it is what it is. Thoughts on Ramsey? Baller. Lovely passing range. I love that he's a thinker. He runs in behind. That's why he gets his goals. Getting better and better. Got the world at his feet. Can be anything. Jacob Ramsey can be whatever he wants. And for me with Southgate, I've seen other young players get called up for less. I see no reason why he shouldn't. Maybe respectfully to Villa, probably because he's at Villa that's going against him. Do you think Luis Diaz is going to be used in Liverpool as he just went there? I think he will. Obviously, he's joined mid-season. He still needs to adapt to not only the league and living off the field, but what Klopp demands. It's the business end of the season as well. So can Klopp necessarily give him 5 or 10 games to grow into it, or does he need to play ready-made hitters? Let's be real. He's got to, when he gets his chance, take it. Show that you can eclipse Mane, eclipse Salah, easier said than done, or whatever. You got to give the young 25-year-old time to develop, bro. Jacob Ramsey, amazing. Him and Coutinho link up. Great. Even them goals with Villa, fantastic from a Villa perspective, hitting them. But Leeds getting caught on the break, it was it was a fantastic game. But both managers, I'd be vexed at my team. I'd be so vexed. That's the beautiful thing about football. You could tell Bielsa and Gerrard had a billion possibilities that they factored. They told these players a bunch of things, and then when games start moving like that, it all goes out the window. And I'd need some rare Neff on the rocks really after that game if I'm either one, man, because I wouldn't even know what to say to my players really and truly after them sort of performances. Shout out to Callum Chambers because he made his debut yesterday, didn't he, as well? But yeah, shout out to him. Away from that, though, let's get into some other football talking points. Keep your questions and all those sort of things coming, people. Feel no sort of way you lot make this what it is. There's a next one there. What have you said? Do you think Martinelli be used more centre for the rest of the season? As I said, bro, for me, if there's any pissing about and Lacazette's form drops or Lacazette gets an injury, for me, it's Martinelli up front. I think he's got more to his game than Eddie. I think he presses better than Eddie. I think he drops deep and there's more variety in his game through the middle than Eddie. I don't really know what Eddie is. He doesn't really stay in the box. He's been doing this fake left wing thing, and when he does, he's anything but clinical. He just looks like, listen, this is for experienced swimmers. He needs to learn how to swim in a paddling pool. He's not cut out for it. And I just feel, obviously, if it's in terms of being a goal scorer, Lacazette isn't 30. Technically, highest goal scorer out of the two. But it's about when you're not, it's also about being a striker, what you're bringing to the table when you're not scoring. And in Lacazette's defense, at minimum, he brings the other players into play. He presses well. He's experienced. And this, as I said earlier, this is the start of the season now, where part in the season where you need kind of assurances. You need to know what you're going to get. So for me, I'd be giving Martinelli an opportunity through there, really and truly. I would say for me, Lacazette, Martinelli. I'll even try the Pepe fault. I'm not really convinced with it. I'll be real with you, regardless of what man say he did at Lille, because when you look at the numbers and where he's actually scoring from, he's peeling out wide anyways. But I'm open to trying that before Eddie. Like for me, he's played 50 minutes, so and he's gonna play more, no matter what Arteta says. And you've got to pick a team. And I feel there's a lot of, to be fair to Arteta, I feel fans always moan. I don't feel you can call for consistency, call for results, but then call for everybody to get a game. I look back to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Yes, he played well was it Watford when he got dropped? But realistically, them times there, everything we're doing is working. And away from that, the squad that was going out there with Partey and Xhaka was getting results, really. And I feel there's a bit of that when it comes to the other players as well. But there's certain assurances you have to be thrown, and that's one of them. I'm not really with trying other things at this moment in time. We need to know what we're gonna get, and really it's the young players that know what they're on. I'm not sure for the other dons. I mean, Aaron Ramsey's living the dream, in it. Played for a big club like Arsenal, when I played for a big club like Juventus, going to play for a big club in Scotland, really, respectfully to Rangers, because it's a big club, and that just tells me no one else was keen to take him on, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, man, I'm not really with the Eddie thing, man. Eddie's played, Arteta don't rate him, bro. Like, he's played 50 minutes. It's not that you don't rate him. You don't feel he's strong enough to help you get results. When there was pressure, you weren't throwing him there. Same with Ainsley, and that's what it's about, really. And at the obviously, if Eddie can help us, yeah, but at the same time, well, you're just putting him in the shop window for other people, where if that can correlate to you scoring goals, why not? But boy, let's see what happens with Eddie, innit? Let's see what happens there. Should we look at some other news in relation to football, people? Where's the Conte comments? Oh, and obviously Spurs struggled with the press today. Apparently Spurs fan, I'm not going to say the word before they try. Apparently Roy Keane is no longer under consideration to be the next Sunderland gaffer. Tottenham have asked fans to move on from the use of the Y word after a review. Again, why army? I'm not going to, within this context, I'm not going to say it before someone try cancel me. There's certain things you shouldn't be mentioning, but it is what it is. Obviously, Kurt Zouma is public enemy number one. I think 25,000 people signed a petition to get him sacked. People have called for him to get sacked. And I'm not saying that, two things can live in the same realm. Animal cruelty and racism are bad, but it just feels like there's more empathy, there's more sympathy for this cat than when there's racism. And it tells me that a lot of people can't empathize with ethnic minorities because they don't know any. A lot of people have pets. That's why a lot of them are emotionally charged. Like, you got a pet. Many people don't know ethnic minorities. When you look at the statistics in England, ethnic minorities compared to white people, respectfully, very little. So there's no empathy there, and it tells me that, again, it's what we've known already. You go back and look at memoirs through slavery or civil rights and stuff, there's animals have had more rights. If I kill a dog in the street right now, it's gonna move the world. If I kill another fellow black man, it's not gonna do nothing. People are desensitized to it, rightly or wrongly, and I feel if we're gonna draw the moral police on this animal stuff, then we've got to look at how other animals are treated, how a horse is treated in this country. If we're going to draw the line over that, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people criticizing Zouma probably, are hitting other people, hitting people and doing things you shouldn't be doing and hitting their animals same way. Is Zouma the first person to lash out at a cat or a dog? I don't think so. And I am not defending him by any stretch of the imagination. I just wish there was this energy You know, I'm seeing him lose sponsors. Luis Suarez, being racist, didn't lose his. I'm seeing man lose sponsors. I'm seeing man lose, you know, West Ham are finding because they're losing sponsors. People are saying he should be sacked. People are saying, you know, all of these things. I would love to see this when it comes to racism. The energy is very different. And for me, I pay attention to these things. It just tells you that subhuman, really, or you're treated like subhumans. But things are not going to change, man, unfortunately. And Zuma, you and your brethren are not real because you shouldn't have been doing it anyways, but they shouldn't have put you online, you know. You need to remember you don't have the same luxuries and privileges that other people do, you know. If you was racist to someone, whether it was Zuma, a black person being racist to a white person, or a white person being racist to him, they would sit here and say, "Oh, you need another chance." You know, don't kill him. We all make mistakes, man. I'm not giving him another chance now. Boy, you got to remember that IC free tax is real. So, boy, Zuma, you're on your own with that one. But it's the energy, the aggression, the kind of public enemy number one is dangerous. I haven't seen no one has said this with John Terry calling people the N word. No one has moved. You know, Ryan. The very fact that Ryan Giggs still has technically not lost that Wales job. You know, Joey Barton hits women, you know, as well as defenseless people more defenseless than him. Jamie Carragher spitting at people. Right is right, wrong is wrong, you know. But again, these lot were not demonized like Kurt Zouma, you know. Luis Suarez never got dropped from his Adidas thing. Boy, it's crazy. But as you lot can see here, Kurt Zouma dropped by Adidas after RSPCA removes cats. You know, you deserve to have your cats removed. Put them somewhere where obviously people are not going to hit them up and that. You know, Kurt Zouma's lost his Adidas sponsorship just hours after he was fined 250k by West Ham. And obviously he's had his cats taken. So again, Zouma, 27 years of age. I don't know what his weekly wages are. You know, probably can deal with that, but literally a costly mistake. Again, respectfully to the RSPCA and the police. Well, not respectfully to the police, but to the RSPCA. Listen, I'm not gonna read all of that. That's what matters in it. Zuma's he rubbed himself out. Conte said Tottenham are too emotional. Hey boy, I saw you doing you learning from Dyer and then got humbled. Conte has said that his side are too emotional after their 3-2 loss to Southampton. He said they needed to not be up and down, down and up and down. He said, I say this before and I continue to repeat. I think that we are improving in many aspects, but then we are still too emotional. But you lot went unbeaten and they were saying you're the best thing since sliced bread, respectfully. Against Leicester, we won 3-2 and we were losing 2-1. Today, we're winning 2-1 and we lost 3-2. I think on this aspect, we have to improve because if we want to grow as a team and try to be competitive, the first thing you have to do is to improve the stability, not to be up and down, up and down, up and down, which is true. He also outlined the need of experience. He named, 4 28-year-olds. I think that in this situation, we have to improve. And I also repeat in the team, it's important to have players with experience to manage the situation during the game. I repeat, it was a pity because my players, they gave 120% today and the effort was maximum. I cannot say that I don't see the right attitude or the right commitment. I saw maximum commitment. Okay, so that's him. Let's close that. FIFA to decide on semi-automated offsides at Qatar World Cup within 2 months. The decision on the use of new technology that could instantly detect offsides at the Qatar World Cup is expected within the next 2 months. Big up you lot. Make sure you're following people. FIFA have been testing a new VAR system that features automated line drawing and virtual reality replays at the Club World Cup in Abu Dhabi. A goal by my man was ruled out during the game between these two teams last week. So we're going to have to see what's going on there, people. Sounds interesting. The World Football Governing Body hopes an automated system will eventually replace the controversial VAR of sidelines. I mean, if it's done by a computer, computers can make mistakes, but they're not susceptible to human error. VAR, for all the fanciness, is just a bunch of twats in a room manipulating lines, and it's down to interpretation and biases and things like that, in which, in theory, robots can develop that over time. We've all seen the Buki movies, that should be something we move towards. Rodgers believes he has the full board's backing. Again, football works in systems, and it feels within this 3-4 years Brendan Rodgers has been at Leicester that the cycle either needs to be renewed or it's ran its course, if I'm completely honest with you, and things. But Rodgers says he remains confident he has the full backing of the board, but is not trying to mask over a difficult season. He said, I've got a good relationship, great relationship better yet here with the people at the club, a very close working relationship with everyone. But I understand you have to get results. Whatever happens to me in the future, those relationships don't change. They're great people here, have always supported me. And, his stock was very high a few months ago. It shows how things can change in football, really. And I wonder who Leicester would get. If I was Leicester, I'd be looking at Potter. If I was Graham Potter, it's not that Leicester isn't necessarily a step up in Brighton. I think Leicester have higher expectations and want to achieve more than Brighton. But if I'm Brendan Rodgers, would you want to give up that stability for Leicester respectfully, or do you wait for the big clubs and whatnot? Respectively, Leicester have won the league more recently than us, so I'm not getting at them. This year has been a challenge after challenge, and primarily because of the players we have missing. But of course, the weekend's result wasn't great, so you can't mask over that, and I wouldn't try to. Ollie said he had the boards back in. Boy, it's funny hearing Conte talk about man being too emotional. Pot kettle. Trust, boiling piss. Crazy how there's an organization that can pull up to your home and take your pets away. They can. But I mean, I don't think that's, I do think in life, everybody's a hypocrite. And I think there's a lot of hypocritical individuals in relation to Zouma. But it is what it is, man. DG, have you seen Antonio being questioned about it and how he responded? He's a G picture maker as well. What a G. I don't know what he said. It enlightened me, my guy. Jay, appreciate you. People are saying he should be killed and stuff like that. Exactly. You be racist, you're allowed another chance. Unpopular opinion, K, but top four has been anyone's for a while. It's just down to it for a couple of years. It's down to who stinks up the place less. Honestly. Really and truly. Carrying on with our current themes, people. I don't know why the screen stopped sharing, but Wayne Rooney, he turned down Everton. He said he would love to manage at Old Trafford one day. I don't know. Maybe you might even be the next gaffer. I'm not sure if the fans want that. He said he would love to one day manage Man United and believes his former club need to be patient with their next manager. I didn't go to the Everton interview, which I was asked to go to. I've always been one who likes a challenge and someone who's willing to put in work and fight, much like on the pitch. I stood in front of my players and told them, I'm with you. Trust me, I'm fighting with you. What type of person would I be if at the first opportunity I left them? I mean, you're not wrong, but you need to do what you need to do. You're not loyal to Derby beyond what they've given you, really. And for me, if I'm paying out my own pay packet, if I'm calling the president and he's not answering, but if I use the physio's phone, he's answering. I understand loyalty, but loyalty to what? Because players are, players the same way they'll be riding for you. Couple games, they might lose faith in you. Fans might lose faith in you. Board might lose faith. So you've always got to, do what's best for you, in my opinion. You don't owe them any loyalty, but away from it, I respect what he's saying. True to my word, I'm fighting for the club. I'm trying to get us out. And then, let's be real, Derby, there'll be more expectation on you at Man United than Everton. I'm not saying there's not expectation on you at Derby. Shout out to you because you're playing Arsenal boys. Luke Plange is having a good time in the Championship. He's technically gone to Crystal Palace. He couldn't get a game in Arsenal's 23s or 18s. Now, look, funny game of opinions. Malcolm Ebowe, again, he left Arsenal, went to Rangers, and now he's found himself at Derby, made his Championship debut the other day. And there's a couple of other players in and around the cusp. I like what Rooney's doing. But let's be honest, there's a million things to blame at Derby or question about how Derby's being ran before you look at the manager. So I don't think it's necessarily all that, Rooney, But anyways, and then Everton United, two clubs close to my heart. Of course, one day I'd love to manage either of the clubs. In my opinion, what they need, whether it's Ralph Rangnick or whether it's a new manager at the end of the season, is something to go in and have time to build a squad. And they've been linked with Ten Hag and Poch, as we'll speak to. I think the next 3 years certainly is going to be very difficult to win the Premier League. They need to give someone that time to build a squad and then really challenge for big prizes, which a club like Manchester United needs to be doing. So yeah, man, again, respectfully, I'm not really here to speak about Rooney's other stuff. So yeah, we've spoken about that. We know Coutinho starred. Kurt Zouma, we've spoken about that. What's going on in the transfer news, people? Let's flip the screen. Atalanta, Diego Costa and Pele. I mean, two guys that, Pele ain't that the guy that was at Southampton. Boy, Zapata's been injured. Conte wants Arturo Vidal at Tottenham. Boy, you know what? Age is just a number when it comes to Italian footballers or players that have played in Italy. 34 is probably the new 24, but not too sure if that would be the case, people. Former Liverpool striker eyes a return to the Premier League. Man United could turn towards Jarrod Bowen. I'm not sure I believe that, but yeah. Buffon is considering a move to the MLS. Oh, he would. Barcelona are eyeing Haaland as Mbappe looks to be going Real Madrid. Real Madrid are looking at Ospina. Football's a funny old game of opinions. Ten Hag declines to talk about future after Overmars scandal. We'll get into that. Memphis Depay could leave Barcelona this summer. Just a year after signing, he could be pushed out. Boy, it looks peak, man, with the influx of Ferran Torres, Adama, Aubameyang, and they're looking at Haaland. Talks over a new deal for Perisic allegedly underway. AC Milan have met with Kevin Botman's representatives. He was linked with Leicester previously. He's also been linked with West Ham and aggressively throughout January was linked with Newcastle. Didn't make any of their moves. Hella MLS stuff. For what it's worth, apparently Shaqiri's joined Chicago Fire. Tevez is being linked with DC United. Boy, so it doesn't look like it's happening where he's concerned. That's them. And as I said, Shaqiri couldn't buy a game at Lyon. He's gone. How old is this Shaqiri? Shout out to you. Go do your thing, man. Be a big track bully. For Man United, though, oh gosh, not if we don't get there. What's going on? Why is he not changing tabs? Man United step up search for permanent manager with Pochettino favoured. We've heard this for years. Pochettino probably will leave PSG. In my opinion, PSG will go out to Real Madrid in the champs, and that sums up his fate, really and truly. You're getting rubbed out. They don't look as good as they used to be, and it looks like Poch is struggling with dealing with characters. I think PSG needs someone, not Pep necessarily, but Pep, someone who players can't really bully him because you might be big name players. I'm a big name gaffer as well. Bit like Zidane, you can't really regulate me. I'm kind of not larger than the squad, but I'm larger than the squad. Pochettino has been a firm favourite for United board for a while. Apparently the players actually want him as well. Goal understands he's keen on a move to Old Trafford, people. Take Kane with you, man. That will sum up Spurs. United are keen to have an agreement in place with a new manager so it can be announced at the end of the season, and Poch is an appealing prospect. He's come under pressure. Obviously, he's exited the Coupe de France. They're making the league hard work, and boy, Real Madrid, the tie against Real Madrid will sum up his fate. For what it's worth, Ten Hag has broken his silence on a potential Ajax exit. I don't know if United fans would prefer Poch or Ten Hag. What they kind of know with Poch, you see him in the Prem. From what you see and hear about Ten Hag, it all depends where you sit on the fence, people. Ten Hag said, Overmars and me were definitely a strong duo. Obviously, Overmars did the mad thing. But to think about this now is not about me. We need to process what happened. I will start looking at the consequences. I won't think about my future now. I'm fine, but I know what you mean. We've had incredibly difficult days, of course. I was totally stunned when I heard it. This is disastrous, especially for the victims, the women. I have a hard time with the suffering that has been caused to them. Everyone processes this in their own way. I then withdrew a bit and I'm a bit quieter than usual. As a coach, you naturally have to radiate energy, but that was difficult in the last few days, people. So that's that with him. Apparently, the players, where I'm not too sure the players, because players can change at a hat. I'm not sure the players should have any say, but allegedly, Man United players want Pochettino to take over this summer, people, and he's preferred to Ten Hag, people. Apparently, Ralph Rangnick wants Ten Hag, the board, and from what we've just read, and the players want Poch, so you'd imagine the board eclipse him and whatnot. But Man United players are in favour of Pochettino taking over as a manager at the end of the season. Really. So yeah, I'm not, I don't know if there's anything keen there. It doesn't really say anything necessarily there, but yeah, man, that's where he's concerned. Should we see what's going on in terms of circle back on the BBC's transfer column? The father of Colombian winger Luis Diaz claims Tottenham's hesitation over signing the 25-year-old allowed Liverpool to beat them to his signature. Chelsea have offered Rudiger a new deal. Brighton can expect renewed interest from Aston Villa for Basuma. We know Martial said Barca and Juventus were looking at him, but he went to Sevilla for more game time. Arsenal are lining up a move for Douglas Luiz in the summer. We just spoke about the pay. The Bradford turned down a loan move to Man United in January, when they tried to bring Dean Henderson. I would rather sit on Man United's bench, pattern some wages. I'd rather say Man United got to make some fake wages for me. I almost died there. Arsenal turned down offers for El Nene from Leeds, Watford, and Newcastle, which makes sense because we ain't got no one, but it doesn't make sense when you consider his contract. Everton were impressed with talks with former director of technical performance at Tottenham, Steve Hitchen, who's my director of football manager. Yeah, man, that seems to be it. Man said, I read this page every night before bedtime. Trust, I think we all look at it, man. Roy Keane got dropped. To be fair, Roy Keane shouldn't even be getting involved. You know, he shouldn't. This is the thing about football. The very fact of the very privilege. Roy Keane, respectfully, I'm sure he's a good gaffer, but what has he done? He sat there. His best highlights are his little bromance with Michael Richards. Why is he being linked with a managerial job? DG, as a neutral, I'm loving these Emerson Tomiyasu debates. Gives me Wan-Bissaka and Trent debates. Well, a bit like with Trent, you know, you're right, you know, because Tomiyasu is clear of Emerson, a bit like Trent is clear of Wan-Bissaka. And, you know, for the fan bases that are talking about Emerson and Wan-Bissaka, how dare that ever come out of their mouth, really and truly. But, you know, Spurs, Chester United are a very special bunch of fans. Basically just repeated what you've been saying. Why has the outrage for this been so much larger in comparison to racism that occurred in the Prem? Just type Antonio on Twitter. It's the first thing that comes up. And I'll be honest, I think only ethnic minorities will get it. I don't think other folk will get it. I think they can empathize, but I don't think they'll get it because they cannot see what it is. You know, man will say racism is bad, but it's like I said, they want Zouma in jail, which probably deserves that. And I mean, in relation to Antonio, it just I don't know what beaky things you're doing, Kay, but you know, just as you said that, it's come on my screen. Sorry, folks. Again, let me go back to the beginning. You know, Twitch ain't got a problem, but disclaimer for YouTube. Again, this is fair use and that. Let me make sure I've copied this link before I share it as well. We'll put that in the description. I don't want to hear no noise from these lot. Again, no noise at all. Let's change that. So yeah, where is it? Where is it now? Let's make that the big screen. Let's bring that all the way back. Let's share the screen with you guys. One love to you lot tuned in. Don't forget, people, I go live at 11:30 on YouTube and 6:45 an hour before kickoff for Wolves Arsenal. I'm going to be on Ramsey's show today. I'm not going to be on Ramsey's show next week. Getting well, you lot can't see, but windows are getting being put in, so I literally can't sit in this very desk and do the vids. But anyways, Antonio has said, you see what he said.
I've got a question for you. So,
big up Antonio.
Do you think what he's done is worse than racism?
It's totally different, lady. Answer the question.
I'm not condoning.
Condoling, Raji.
I don't agree with what he's done at all. But there's people that's convicted, been caught for racism.
Domestic abuse as well.
Afterwards. They got punished. They got eight game punishment or something like that. But people are now calling for people to be sacked from losing their livelihood.
Exactly.
I've just got to ask this question to everyone out there: Is what he's done worse than
why is the energy not the same? And the thing is, Antonio, you know, respectfully, big up the Hammers. I'm not making it about West Ham. When you make comments like this is where you, not that he doesn't know already, because he's clearly switched on. This is where you see there's people that like you as a footballer, but not you as a person. You know, well, you know, when you talk about racism, why are you always playing fucking race card, mate? What's going on there? You know, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, black, white, we're all the same. But there's none of this energy, you know. There's none of fucking hell, Antonio. What are you talking about? You're making it all about racism. They're not the same. You know, it's not the same thing. People are going to be deliberately obtuse. This is where man are going to see, well, man, love when Antonio's scoring. They're going to tell him to be quiet. This is why man rate Mikel Antonio. Not because he's the best, you know, the best in the league, the Jamaican international, him, Ethan Pinnock, and them things there. But yeah, man, you get me? Big up Antonio. This is why man rate Antonio. And shout Antonio because I got a signed shirt from him as well. You know the thing. Come on, Antonio. Man's like, Hammer, mate. Hammer for you, mate. Blowing bubbles and all that. I've got a Townsend one as well, but ain't no one trying to. Big up Townsend, man. You know, your dad does good work at Kick It Out, but ain't no one trying to see a signed Townsend shirt. Then again, Townsend, all them man there. Make sure you shout DG. Let's get these interviews. Let's get this engagement popping. But, bro, you see the thing. This is it, man. This is it. You know, man are booing the knees. Man say no to racism and boo the knees. If man were kneeling down about this fucking cat and shit, forgive me for my language because it's wrong. You know, if man are kneeling about the cat, man are not saying nothing. Man will say, keep kneeling. You think West Ham, Millwall, anyone that's been booing, and there's been others, anyone that's booing stuff, you think they're going to tell man, oh, stop with the racism thing. We don't need the kneels. If this was kneeling for a cat, they would. And like we know, you know, problems are, you know, issues are issues. Right is right and wrong is wrong. The two can live in the same realm. But people are deliberately being obtuse. People are deliberately, you know, deliberately acting like they can't see it. And that's one of the weapons people use. Deliberately obtuse. Then it makes you frustrated, man. Crazy. This is it as well. Do you know how many times I see that on YouTube? I saw that today. I'm pretty sure it's still in the comments on my Chris Kirkland vid. I like you, DG, but when you talk about this racism stuff, you don't like, man. You might agree with 1-2 points or like the way I articulate things about Arsenal. You don't like, man. You don't like me because before you know I'm an Arsenal fan, I have to wear an Arsenal shirt. I ain't even got one on, but I have to wear an Arsenal shirt or something like that for you to know I have anything to do with Arsenal. I just have to be myself. You could. Last time I checked, I'm not purple. I'm not Incredible Hulk. I'm not green. You know. Even this, I had my hood on. If I walk down the street in a hoodie, it's brazy. I've been stopped in a hoodie. I've been stopped in a suit. You know, I've been followed in a shop. You know, we all know that you have to work twice as hard in society. You know, we all know the medical statistics are going against you. You know, whether you're a man or a woman of every ethnic minority. We all know when it comes to certain diseases that are subject to ethnic minorities, they're not helping. So when it comes to health, education, life, fucking going to the shop, there's all different racism and prejudice and all things you have to see. It's crazy. And it is a kick in the teeth, you know, and a cat has more rights, you know. Some people, if I was burning in a fire and there was a cat, certain people, and you could save both of them, certain people are not even going to try to save, man. They're just going to take the cat and close the door, you know. And if we're going to do the moral police with animals and people will say right is right and wrong is wrong, or don't be so stupid, where do you draw the line? I'm not defending Zouma, but where did you draw the line? Because certain people are going to zoos. Certain people are taking pictures with sedated lions, doing videos with dolphins in captivity. You know, certain animals that we might not think the same. There's issues. I swear kangaroos are used for football boots and that. You know, people are using real leather and that. If we're gonna draw the more, if we're gonna be doing the, it's a bit like, it's different, but it's a bit like music, you know. We can sit here, I can sit here and say, and I don't agree with it. I can sit here and say, obviously, domestic violence, all of that. You get it. If you come up from ends, you don't do any of that in general. But where do I draw the line? Because if I hear someone rapping about murder, but I'm singing it along, but I'm singing smoking on this pack, that pack, this pack, that pack. You know, I've got dead pagans, and I'm saying the same thing as well, respectfully. You know, where do we draw the line? It's like comedy, you know. Dave Chappelle, man, tried to cancel it. But where'd the man draw the lines? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Of course, a cat has more rights. Alex, again, you're not for this. You're not for this. You're not for this. And we're definitely not mates, Alex. Like, you're not for this. You know, you're here for the chat. You're here for the topic. And the very fact that you're saying change subject, it tells you the privilege you're allowed. This ain't for you, respectfully, man. You have to keep it moving respectfully, man. Keep doing your thing. Bless up. But you've been eliminated from the Squid Games for this one, Carl. This is an intellectual conversation. We have banter, we have jokes, but things need to be spoken. The very fact that you can say change subject and afford to change subject is a privilege within itself. Bro, change it, bro. Them man, they ain't even change their backside boxes, bro. Come on, man. You dirty prick. Go shower, man. Check your shit. Get out of here, man. From the bottom right here, finally comfortable. So true, bro. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Crazy stuff, man. Alex, by God's grace, you will learn to unlearn ignorance and learn that just because you don't like something or you don't want to hear something doesn't mean it, you cannot speak about it. Some of us do not have the privilege of just shutting up about things, fella. You know, the beautiful thing about Twitch, just like YouTube, if you don't like what you see, mate, you can sling your hook. Get out of my pub. Word to Peggy Mitchell, RIP Peggy and that. But yeah, obviously, people, 11:30, we go live again. Make sure you're supporting up that one. Make sure you're here for the big one, you know. Wolves versus Arsenal later. And Alex is the perfect example of being intentionally obtuse, you know. Like, obviously, you know, by the book, we have more rights. But a cat dying in the street is going to move the world more than it is, you know. It is what it is. But anyways, this is why I like you lot, because again, the vast out of 43 people locked in, however many people follow me on Twitch, 3.7 thousand, you get 1 or 2 idiots, which is cool, man. In life, you're gonna come across these sort of man there, man. But shout out to you. By God's grace, may you unlearn your ignorance. May you seek to learn unlearn certain privileges. May you seek to be able to empathize with people, even if your direct reality isn't that, you know. And then this is why I love seeing people like Planet X. Respectfully, I'm going to use him as an example. That's a white youth from Australia. He can sympathize with things because he doesn't want to be ignorant. He wants to learn things. And I'm a black youth from London. If there's certain things that affect him that I are not part of my reality and things like that, I can sympathize because you want to, you know, and empathize and stuff. But, you know, certain people want to be ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. You know, people like Alex, respectfully, they probably live a simpler life. When you can't think, you know, to be more knowledgeable and learn more stuff, it makes you depressed about life. Them and they like to bury their heads in the sand. And unfortunately, they can do that. Ready for talk shy and talk and sky. Bro, I ain't no one trying to listen to them, man. Do you, man? Crazy. 1 or 2 ways, man. Bloody hell, man. What other things are affecting the world? Matty Cash is still getting linked with Atletico Madrid. Crazy one. See, and even that, man, are still, after Zouma's been fined, suspended, allegedly, man, are still onto him. Man, are still onto him. And then you got dickheads like this as well, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the ignorance that certain man can live. This is why, for me, well, I'm not. This is where when you lot say educate racist and pussy or antics like that, I'm not with it. Let me block this shit as well, man. I don't like seeing these sort of use. These people can go through life deliberately being obtuse, bro. You'll make yourself, man, liking his tweets. Look, why is he linking it to racism? They're two completely different matters. How? We know that you're intentionally being obtuse. He's been dealt with correctly, but yet people want to make it about race. It's showing that animal abuse is not acceptable, yet these lot are trying to brush it off and play the racism card time after time. So this is it, man. I'm tired of speaking about racism. Like, why? This is for me why I just think people like that just bang him in the face respectfully, like kick racism out. Like, again, you can educate these sort of dons if you want. Yeah, I'm not with that. Like, you might as well just shut it. I have no, this is why, have you noticed, man, just block people like Alex. I've got no, not trying to educate you, not trying to do anything. If that's what you think, that's what you think. Suck your mum from the bottom of my heart. We keep it moving. I've not, you think this Donny doesn't know he's chatting shit. He think, you know, he's deliberately being obtuse. Man are acting like we're linking the captain. He hasn't thinking it. You show no empathy, you know, and you're a City player, you know. That tells me, I mean, a City fan. When Raheem Sterling and all these dons are going through what they're going through, there's issues there. You don't really thingy them. Exactly. Boy, you see them ones, DK? These lot. You get it? These lot. You see it? You see what I'm saying about these sort of man? And it's all the same. These lot. What's these lot? You probably tell Mickey Antonio, go back to your country. 100%. But the beautiful thing is, these sort of man got energy on the net and got energy in groups. They're not on badness in themselves. But again, if anyone's down to educate racism and do the Kumbaya thing, I'm not for it. You lot can do all of that. That's a dickhead thing to me. You know, what's these lot? What's these lot? What's these lot? Them and they're still probably eating curry goat and rice as well. Flipping pussy. These lot. They're the man that say, go back to your fucking country, mate. 100%. Go back to your flipping country. What is this country? Last time I checked, I got a Burgundy passport, but just don't know, man. You just don't know with some of these lot, eh? Just don't know them lot. If it's not these lot, it's you lot. Bro, kick out racism. What's the point? Kumbaya, my lord, please stop being racist. Let's educate them. It's assuming that racists are not educated. That's the craziest thing. You can't assume racists aren't educated. Or if that was the logic, you wouldn't have Cecil Rhodes and all of these sort of people. If you know your history, you wouldn't have systemic racism. You wouldn't have the systematic racism you see and whatnot. Not just against, you know, not just against ethnic minorities, but things that have been put up against women. You can't assume racism. You can't just assume, man, it's the racists are people with free tea, you know, respectfully on benefits, free tea, drinking beer or alcohol every day, just shouting mad puns and carrying on a certain sort of way. It's not that. And they're arguably the least of the problem. It's the ones that, you know, you don't know. It's the ones that are silent. It's the ones that you know, crazy. And some of you probably listening to this are racist. Some of you probably subscribe to me and follow me on YouTube, probably racist, fam. It's crazy. All our jobs, these times, man's got one qualification. And man's turning down jobs. You know, ethnic minorities will do anything to put their family on. Clean any piece of any toilet. How much family members and whatnot, man, are cleaners and do bare jobs until they can get somewhere. the thing is, a lot of British people in society look down their nose. And a lot of people, it's misplaced. It's the government that are not reinvesting. It's the government that are stealing with one hand. It's a class thing. Upper class individuals that are native to this country are targeting smaller class, and they're saying, "But look, it's the foreigners. They're literally taking food off your table. It's not foreigners putting up energy prices. It's not foreigners making it impossible for you to drive. It's not foreigners ensuring that living wages go up. And I mean, living wages stagnate and the cost of living goes up. I'm no economics expert, but if your wages are not rising and your living expenses are, at some point, it's not foreigners who fucked up the housing market. And if it is high-ranking foreigners, who has sold you? Who has sold it? You know, the government sell. You look at rich Arabs. You know, who is selling Harrods and all of these buildings essential to them? It's the government. But it costs, it costs money and time to actually educate yourself on things. But that's enough from me, man. That's enough from me, man. On that note, I'm getting out of here, man. What can I say? We have thoughtful conversations, we have banter, and what I would say, first things first, one love to you, like whether you're white, black, man, woman. This is one thing I love about my platforms on Twitch and YouTube. We speak honestly, and this is one thing I like, man. Bro, I thought you was the good one. Fuck all of that, man. Suck your mum about, am I one of them good ones? You know, you know how they come with. I thought you was one of the good ones, mate. You know, I thought you was like Kante and Saka. Why do you think they treat Kante and Saka like children? They think, oh, you're not one of them. You don't wear jewelry, do you, Saka? You don't put blonde hair in your head. You know, you don't dance at weddings and celebrate like Pogba, do you? You don't go on a religious pilgrimage like Pogba, do you? Don't do any of that. Drink beers until 1 a.m. in the morning and fucking drive your car into a wall, mate. That's what we call having banter. That's how they carry on still. Bro, fuck educate, bro. Them man there can educate them about racism. I'm not with it. There's obviously unconscious biases. People have to want to learn, bro. You know, how many of you in school, you might have been the best teacher ever. You got to want to learn, blood. You have to want to learn. These men don't want to learn. They're happy being ignorant. They're happy burying their heads in the sand. Forget all of that, man. It's myth. It's a myth, man. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But is it going to change? No, it's not going to change. You know, it's not going to change. It's not going to get any better. Bro, the man there, bro. I've never seen football is. I know the culture has changed, but our club, Arsenal, had a drinking culture. Tuesday Club, Kenny Sampson, Tony Adams, all the man them were drinking. I like a good drink. I'm sure you do as well. Only in England or only in the Prem have I seen, man, you can drink. And I'm not saying people don't get condemned. It's changed now. Grealish onto it. But only in this place can you drink and carry on and move mad and smash things and move mad, because that's a society thing. Man like to get drunk here and just smash things up. They go and do it abroad as well. You know, that's cool. But man can't dance. Dons can't say, you can do all of that. But if I'm Trent and I'm Lingard's brethren, and I say, well, go on to Lingard, oh, United Liverpool, what the fuck you lot doing? You lot don't know what it means to play for this club. Get rid of them, a lot of them. Football mirrors society, man. And football is one of the most outdated ones. Football is allowing people to still be racist. It protects domestic abusers. Bro, do you know how much people are still about with fuckery to their name? You know, if you're going to cancel Zouma, then how is John Terry still active with his racism thing? How has Suarez not lost his sponsorship? You know, how is Roy Keane about? Respectfully, you know, how is Joey Bart? I don't even want to do Roy Keane dirty because he ain't done nothing mad, but you get it. How is Joey Barton about? You know, and if you look at it, not one of them has been labeled a thug. Rooney come out the other day and said, yo, I was wearing extra studs to hurt people. Well, you can't come out and say that if you're certain people. It's crazy, man. It's brazy. It's very, very brazy. Very brazy. Very brazy. It's all right. It's all cool. You just have to work twice as hard as we know. You know. But it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. It's upsetting, man. You know, I was naive, man. I thought racism would end one day when I was a little kid. But wait, fuck this Malcolm X thing. I mean, Martin Luther King thing is the Malcolm X thing, but like, I'll have to stop, you know, because only when it comes to racism that the very people that are not that have no moral compass try and play on your morality. It's a bit like the slave masters. The slave masters would push religion on people because religion develops morals. Not that you shouldn't have morals, and tell you that you shouldn't rise up and free yourself, and keeps you really at the beck and call, where it doesn't give you liberty. Liberty is not seized peacefully. This is why peaceful protests and things are a myth. When has an oppressed bunch of people been saved or saved themselves by saying, oh, please stop? Please stop. You know, the suffragettes, civil rights movements, you know, even Malcolm X. A lot of people say I have a dream and look at the flipping, you know, we're just going to stand here. You lot can thump us in our mouth. We're not going to do anything. But then no one talks about the comments where he says, I fear I've led my people into a burning house. Boy. Anyways, man, enough with all of that, man. I said I'm busting out. I'm kicking out. We've got 18 minutes until we're live on Twitch, people. Malcolm X, this is it. They get portrayed, bro. This is why I can't get anywhere. Marcus Garvey got snaked. Malcolm X got snaked. You know, CIA or whatever they are, infiltrate one of them, pressure one of the youths. Youth start snitching, and it gets fucked. It's that simple. You know, there's a lot of coons. There's a lot of coons. You know, racists are one thing, but yeah, man. I sometimes feel for you guys, bro. It's peak anyway, man. Sometimes I just wonder, like, ethnic minorities in general, but speaking for myself as a young black man, sometimes I just wonder, like, what the hell did black people do to this world to just be getting this, like, in everywhere? Like, what do we do? Like, what happened, man? Why they hate us so much? What's going on, like? Because what's wicked? Man will love Henri and say, no, black boy can't marry my daughter. What do you mean? Little Jamal, fuck that. I want Tommy, mate. It's crazy. But shout out to the people from all races, religions, backgrounds, you know, man, woman. Again, don't cancel me if you want to identify as whatever you can identify as a flipping unicorn for all I care. Big up you lot for tuning in, people, because you lot make this platform where it's a pleasure. I always say, you know, the platform you have, or your whatever speaks about you, and you know, you're all thinkers, innit? I don't know why Don's like Alex found this. Maybe it come up on the Twitch recommended, but yeah, man. And you know, whatever I say, Alex, you can keep acting. I know your baby mother likes me. I know your baby mother likes. Look at the chocolate darling, greasy thing. You know, I wouldn't do it because I'm not with the fetish thing, but you know, she wants her little Jaden Sancho, Kieran Gibbs. You know, she wants one of them ballers. Little J, she wants her own little Jaden playing for one of them academies. I can do it, you know, little Oxford Chamberlain. Be easy. But anyways, man. On that note, though, man. Peace out, people. I'm going to see you lot on YouTube in 15 minutes, people. 15 minutes. But again, make sure you've hit the like button on such. There you are. And then also, make sure you've done up Wolves versus Arsenal. Set your reminders and them things there, people. Again, it's been a pleasure, man. I don't know how we ended up where we've ended up, but we ended up here, in it. We got here, in it. We're there, in it. So, yeah, man. You know, when you start hearing sending for baby mothers, it's time to get out of here, man. You know, on that note, peace.
There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like